Beautiful day, new boots, going out for a little walk, a bit nippy outside, and what the heck? What are you doing here?
You're looking pretty tasty. I'm gonna eat you.
What? Nah, you don't want to eat me.
Wait a second. What kind of boots are these?
What, these boots? These are Kodiak's. They're Canada's boots.
Canada's boot? I love Canada.
I was just gonna go out and do a review of them. You want to check it out?
Yeah, sure. Let's dive in.
Welcome to Boot Spy. My name's William, and today I'm reviewing two boots from the Canadian boot brand Kodiak. First up on my list is the Rover II. This is the Arctic Grip Winter Chelsea boot. I'm also going to review one of their most popular boots, the Magog. I'm going to talk about both of these, discovering the leather quality, sole quality, durability, and ultimately whether or not each of these boots are worth your hard-earned money. Let's get into it. Let's start off by talking about the style of these two boots. So the first one up is the Magog. This one reminds me a lot of the Timberland Premium 6-inch waterproof boot. If you want to see a review of that, click that button that just popped up right there. But yeah, a lot of similarities. It's a plain toe boot, got that rugged masculine style, and it also has this padded collar right here. This boot features 200 grams of 3M Insole insulation in here. The Timberland Premium has 400 grams of Primaloft, and then also the Chelsea boot from Kodiak, this also features 400 grams. So it's not quite as insulated as some of the other winter boots on there, but that kind of balances out in the price. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Other things, yeah, the rubber lug sole, and this is bond welted. So there is a stitch around here that runs around the welt. I don't think that is a real stitch. I'm seeing some glue that goes between the sole and the leather uppers. So I believe this is a bond welt. And what that means is there's probably not a good chance of ever resoling this boot. The other boot I'm looking at is the Rover II. This is an Arctic Grip Winter Chelsea boot. This has, like I said, 400 grams of 3M Insole insulation in it. It also is bond welted, completely waterproof, waterproof leather. It has a Vibram Arctic Grip sole. I'm gonna talk more about that a little bit later, but this thing is killer. So if you stop the video right now, just know that this insole or this outsole is incredible. The Rover II is kind of a classic Chelsea boot style, but it's a lot chunkier, so this toe box is way more round, a lot less sleek. This isn't the kind of just Chelsea boot like I put in my Idris review or Ace Marks or anything like that. Gotta say, I was a little bit surprised about how much I like the Rover II in terms of this Chelsea boot style. I really like slimmer, sleeker Chelsea boots, so I wasn't sure about that rounded toe cap, but honestly, I've been pretty pleasantly surprised. This has found a good spot, definitely in my winter wardrobe. I'm gonna do a little walking and talking as I discuss the leather quality here on the Magog and the Rover II. Now, the leather is pretty thin. I wasn't super impressed with the leather quality, but I do like that it is waterproofed. I do have a scratch in my Rover II at the front toe, and you know, to me that's not a death sentence because these boots are pretty inexpensive, and I still think, you know, they do their job at keeping my feet warm and dry. And they also look pretty cool, especially the Rover IIs. I do like how those look. But overall, leather quality on the Kodiak boots. For the price, it's pretty good. But compared to, you know, I just tried some Grant Stone and some Red Wings, and compared to some of the bigger brands, after you've had that experience, I'd say the leather quality overall, fair for the price, but overall, meh. Now, one thing I do have to tell you about is the sole on these boots. This is made, the sole on the Rover II is a Vibram Arctic Grip sole, and I have never felt a sole that was so good on wet concrete, rain, snow, ice. This sole is really phenomenal, and this is the best grip of any sole on any boot that I own. So overall, like the Rover II, best grip. This definitely puts it in the running for one of my favorite winter boots because of that 400 grams insulation and because of this Vibram Arctic Grip sole. Now the Magog, on the other hand, says a custom rubber lug sole. It's got this pretty interesting tread pattern. It's quite grippy, and it's not really like, it didn't make me go crazy, you know, it's not like the most insane grippy sole ever, but plenty of traction, really nice soft rubber, so you don't have to worry about slipping on concrete, wet concrete or anything like that. And then the heavy lugs also perform well in snow, or icy conditions as well. One cool thing to note on both of these boots, they do feature a removable foam insert right here. So if you want to, you can just take that out and add your own inserts. I really like that, especially for like work boots or any sort of boot that you're going to be putting a lot of miles in. If you have your own custom inserts, plantar fasciitis, flat feet, anything where you need more arch support, having a removable insole is awesome, because then you can add whatever is specifically comfortable for you in there without messing up the sizing. Let's set this camera down and talk about durability. So I've noticed a few issues with both of these boots. Again, the bond welt, that is basically a cemented sole. So in the long run, you're not really going to be able to resole these. There's a good chance that once the sole wears out, that's kind of the lifespan of these boots, because they are essentially cemented on. The soles are cemented onto the leather. They're not stitched on, so a cobbler can't reliably go ahead and remove that sole and add a new one. Some cobblers can, so it's not, it's not a death sentence again, but some can't. So really, I wouldn't plan on resoling these boots. I think that's okay, because when you're talking about a boot that's under $200, I really think high quality boots, you can start to find them at $200, but you can rarely find them for under $200. That's kind of the line right there for really high quality boots that are gonna last you for 10 years and so on. There's still a really good place, and there's a reason why I have these boots that are under $200, because sometimes you just need a beater boot and it needs to last you a few seasons rather than, 10 years. So durability, these aren't, I've noticed, again, like I said, I have a scratch in the front toe here. Notice some issues on the soles, kind of chipping a little bit. In terms of durability, I wouldn't expect these to go longer than 5 years. And if you wear them really, really hard and you wear them all the time, I would expect them to maybe last somewhere around 2 years. All right, here's my final verdict on the Kodiak Rover II and the Magog. So the Kodiak Rover II, whenever I get around to making a 5 best boots for winter, this boot is definitely getting on that list in the budget category. It has that 400 grams of 3M Thinsulate insulation, and it also has the most grippy sole I've ever tried with the Vibram Arctic Grip sole. This performs so well on wet concrete, ice, snow, any of those things. Like I've never walked on a sole that was this grippy, so definitely has that. And it's super warm and toasty, and plus this nice little, I don't know, like fleece lining. It's just super nice, very, very comfortable. So overall, it's a very comfortable boot, and I love the waterproof leather. I do think it's a bit of a bummer that, I have some issues right here with the leather kind of scraping. That's because the leather is thinner and a little bit lower quality, but I think you gotta expect that with a boot that is this far under $200. As for the Magog, I would probably end up getting the Timberland Premium boot over this one, because they're basically the same, except for Timberland just has that iconic style. There are some differences, like the Timberland Premium has 200 grams more of insulation, so it's a little bit warmer, so it'll be slightly better for winter. But that said, it's also twice the price. So if you're kind of looking for a budget Timberland, then the Kodiak Magog is one of the best options out there. Like, it is a comfortable boot. It does have a pretty great sole. It is insulated. It is waterproof. Looks a lot like a Timberland. But it's not as good because of a few durability issues, but it's also half the price. So ultimately, my feeling on Kodiak kind of stands in line with that. It's like, they're not the best boots. I have $300 boots, some like Grant Stone, is like $350 boot. Those boots are excellent, and I wear them all the time, but you don't want to go out every single day in a really nice boot, especially if it's raining or snowing or anything like that. So if you want a boot that's a really economical option and will last you just a few seasons, then Kodiak is one of the better brands I've seen in terms of just like their sole quality and the way they create their boots. It's just really warm and great for winter. They're not going to last 10 years. They're not going to be these like heirloom boots that you have forever. They're probably going to last, maximum 5 years. And if you wear them really heavy and wear them all the time, I'm going to say they're probably going to last 2 years. So you really have to weigh whether that value is right for you. Guys, thank you so much for taking a walk with me. And until next time, put your best boot forward.